Hello and welcome back to another installment of Studying the Blade. This is a look into my life as an adult figure skater, both on and off the ice. It's been a minute since I've checked in on y'all. Life's gotten pretty busy, so basically where we last left off, I was working on breaking my new skates before my coach got back from vacation, and a lot has happened since then, so let's jump back into my skating journey. So by this point, I was still waiting for my coach to get back. My lesson was in a couple of days, so I was just working on skills I was really trying to master, like the waltz jump, and I also got to take a girl's senior photos at the rink. It was so exciting. I had so much fun, and I definitely want to do something like that again. After that, it was back on the ice because I really wanted to work on waltz jumps. I was still getting used to my new toe picks because my new skates have cross-cut toe picks. And so in my old skates, I had straight cut, and so I was really digging into the ice. But the feeling of toeing in for a jump on my new skates feels just a little bit less. Like, it feels like I'm getting less of a grip on the ice. And while I'm technically not, it just felt different, and so I was psyching myself out. And so I started jumping on a flat blade. Like, I wasn't using the toe pick to take off or land, which was bad. I really needed to fix that habit, and I did, but it was definitely something I had to get used to for a bit. I don't really like to share my personal life online because it's my life. I don't need everyone in the world to know it. I was kind of going through a rough time after that, and so I decided to go to a Saturday night public session to try and cheer myself up, or in the very least take my mind off of things. And while it was super busy, I think that was a good place for me to be in, just with a lot of people hanging out at the rink, no expectations, just getting a little bit of practice in. And so I did a lot of waltz jumps. I did a couple of spins too, but I don't think I really got any of those on camera. Basically, I just got some bad news that kind of threw off everything, and so I was just feeling mentally bad. I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't eating well. I was trying to get back on track, and in the very least, I was trying to skate, because skating is something that I love to do, and not only is it a way to take my mind off of things, but it's something that I'm pretty much always motivated to do, and something that I really, really love doing. I got to the skating complex, and there's a ton of people in the parking lot, but they're all standing outside the building, so I'm just gonna assume there's some sort of high school graduation thing going on, I guess. There was indeed a graduation. I saw many people in caps and gowns. One such person asked me where she needed to go, and I just tried to point in their direction because I had no idea. Here, I was really trying to work on my 3 turns, because they aren't super confident, to be honest. I still can't do an outside 3 turn without feeling a little bit like I'm going to die. So, still working on those. My spins were getting a lot better. I kind of stopped focusing on them for a little bit after the competition because I just really wanted to have time to work on the things I had been neglecting, like 3 turns and mohawks and stuff. I feel like on my new skates, my spins have gotten a little bit better, and also I've just been working off ice and on ice to improve them. They're definitely a bit more stable. I'm able to hold the spin for longer, which is good. However, the glasses that I got a month or so ago are really, really loose, and so I can't really wear them while spinning without them trying to fly off my face, so that had been pretty annoying while skating. Here I am looking a little bit dizzy, and of course, it's not a skate session if I don't do a waltz jump. It is time for my first lesson back when my coach is back in the country. I was so excited. We started working on the skills on my adult pre-bronze skills test. So lots of edges. Outside edges are not my friend, to be honest. I think what scares me about them is that it feels like if I fall, I have nothing to save me, because I'm turning outside of my body versus inside edges, I can set my foot down. So that's making the waltz 8 pretty difficult, but I've been trying to trust and lean into the edge, And I found that my backwards outside edges are actually a little bit better. I don't have the same problem. I just have issues with having enough power to get them to actually make the full edge. I kind of just like lose steam halfway through, and then I'm like, oh no. Backwards insides, you know, those are notoriously tricky. So this is just day one. I'm just trying to get a feel for doing the edge backwards. And I also worked on spirals, so you can see me very, very small and far away trying to do them. I got myself a little haircut. I love it. So awesome. Anyway, I'm feeling a lot of love and joy for the world currently. I'm about to go get coffee. I don't know what's on their current seasonal menu, so we'll find out. I feel like they're looking might have hojicha, but they might be on summer now, so I don't know. It's hot in my car though, so I'm gonna get out. Wearing my model extra shirt, by the way. We slay. And then I'm gonna go vote. And then I'm gonna go home, so. Loving the beautiful scenery of my city. So gorgeous. This latte is so good. I got a chamomile lychee latte. So I'm gonna get out of this like back alleyway that's barely paved, and I am gonna go vote. Just want you guys to know that as I was leaving the polling place, the door hit me. So later that week, I went to freestyle in the morning, and the ice was so bad, it was so banged up. I guess everyone in the world had been at the rink that day. And then I found a scratch that looks like a frowny face, and that's honestly how I felt about the ice that day. But I tried not to let that deter me from getting some practice in. I started to work on free turns, mainly my inside free turns, because I didn't really get to those before I stopped taking learn to skate classes. But anyway, I only stayed for about half an hour and decided to just come back later when the ice was a little better. I feel so humid, like I feel humid from being out there and then walking outside. Like I feel, yeah, I feel good. Like I feel. I just dropped my skates off at the skate shop to get the blades like fully mounted because they did a temporary mount for now. So gonna get some more screws put in my skates and then I can pick them up this evening. Slay. Just got my nails removed. The nail tech taught me some words in Vietnamese that I don't really remember. There's a xin chào, xin chong. I think it's hello. I'm gonna need to look these things up. So I went back to the rink after I got my nails done, and there was a cut on my finger and I got one of my laces, but it's okay because I keep my grip band-aids in my bag. This ice was a lot nicer. I think they had just done an ice cut right before. So I had nice fresh ice to work on my waltz 8s, which are a little questionable. I found that my backwards outside edges on my right foot are pretty good. They're pretty confident because I'm used to that for like the lead up to the waltz shot, but the right side of my waltz 8 is looking questionable because my 3 turns on my right foot, I just don't feel as confident, and then I am not really holding that edge very well, and then it just kind of falls apart. But we're working on it, and my inside edges look pretty good, honestly. My coach is telling me that I'm leaning a little bit too far into the edge, and I think I can see that in this video, but I've been trying to be mindful of that since then. My family went on a cruise to celebrate my brother's graduation, and to be honest, I'm not a huge cruise person. I don't want to sound ungrateful. Like, I'm glad I was able to go on vacation with my family, but being on a boat full of drunk people is not really my jam. Anyway, I was mostly just like going crazy a little bit because I wouldn't be able to skate for like over a week. I didn't know what I was gonna do, so I decided to go do some off ice. Going to investigate the gym on the cruise ship. I've never been to the gym before. I'm scared, but I really want to practice my off ice, so gonna do it. So it was fine. I didn't blow up or explode or die when I went to the gym. I did start trying to teach myself a salchow off ice because I guess the being away from the rink for like 3 days was already starting to get to me. I still have yet to do it on the ice, but it was nice to be able to do something, you know? But then I started trying to do an axle. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I don't know why I thought I'd be able to do that, but it was kind of fun to try. By this point, boat was moving, but I was determined to work with my balance. So I got on the Bosu ball and I started doing spirals. And honestly, I don't think it looked too bad. This was my first time ever using a Bosu ball and it was so fun. I think I was there for like over an hour. I need to get a gym membership, for real. I also did some work going to the sort of like spin position. I haven't quite done my scratch spin on the ice yet, but I was at least working on getting familiar with those positions. If it looks wrong, that's because I learned this from the internet and I had to do it in real life with my coach. I did try doing a catch foot spiral, so cool stuff. But then it was time to go back home. Or rather, back in the car to New Orleans and then the 5-hour trip back to my actual home. That is all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Super excited to share more with you guys, but for now, these are the updates that I have. So I hope you have a great day or night, whatever time it is. I just hope that it's a good one. Bye, y'all.